Hello, everyone. We are live. It is Alien Spaceship, and you could be watching from anywhere around the country or the world, or anywhere in the galaxy, and you could be watching anywhere and coming to you from the Spaceship Studios from a galaxy far, far away. And I appreciate all of you. And and here we go. I'm going to be switching the screen so people can see me. All right, I'm going to move this over here, and here we go. All right, going to go here. All right, everybody. Hello, it's me, Alien Spaceship, and I see. Hello, George. Welcome to Spaceship, and also Breeze. I'm glad to see you here as well. And we have a variety of different things to talk about, and while we begin, I'll play the game and talk about the different things as we have people come through. And any issues or problems, just let me know. And with the connection wise or anything else. All right. So yeah, happy Friyay. I have to. Oh, hello, True Crime. Oh, it's great to see you. Hello, Cecil. It's great to see you as well. And I'm going to slightly change this title. I forgot to put something here. It is anyway. So everything today in general. Well, we had the Karen Reed thing we'll talk about, and I would like to know, True Crime, if you have any theories about the Karen Reed. I'd like to know about it. And also, basically today there was a tree that was touching the neighbor's yard, and she offered to have it cut down, but my grandpa, who's next door, had it done, and it looks like it's a very big portion of a very big tree branch. But the tree branch, as I said, it needed to be done. It was no big deal, and it looks like that page is doing its own thing. All right, but because I saved the title of the video and now it's just kind of frozen there, but I'm still going through it anyway. So basically, we had it was an active day and twigs and things like that, so the cat can get through in the back. We did that, and also there will be a moment. Let's see if we could do this correct without having a problem. All right. All right, let's see. Does that work? All right, here I am. I had to switch to Windows. I'm trying to change the window. I'm trying to change the title, but it won't really let me do it right now for some reason. But I have to edit it where it says Friyay stream, because I forgot to put that there. Anyway, so hello Wayne, good to see you. Hi Alien Spaceship. Have a great live from Dwayne and Sharon. Have three grand boys over, so I'm laying on the floor, letting them punch their grampy. See you next time. Okay, Dwayne, I am. A shout out to all of you, great family, and you too, Sharon. Also, y'all have a great weekend with your grandbabies, and I appreciate the conversation yesterday that we had about Reed. I'm glad that you're here. Uh, for the like button and the support. Okay, and I'm going to attempt to change the title again because I want to add the Friday thing. Although it's not a big deal, I would like to put that there because it's what it's about. So we'll talk about some conspiracy stuff and trials, things like that, a variety of different things. All right, let's see. Does that okay? That worked. I changed it to Friday. All right. Now what I'll do is I'll turn the game on and do as we usually do, but I'll be talking about the topics at the same time. This also gaming is a tradition on YouTube, and it's also a way to people that might be getting over here that might not be here right away. It's to give them a chance to come over without missing too much. And Yeah, so we had Reed earlier. They Karen Reed trial. They had a field trip today. The jury, and to go look at some evidence. And I remember I went over there and I saw that the jury was still not there, and I saw the other people in chat, that were chilling, that were trying to, that were in the stream. I saw 666 and different people, and then later on when it started to come back on, I went into the chat. So I was there before, but I didn't chat, and then I was gonna go chat. Although I don't mind chatting before that, I decided to wait a moment. All right. So that could just simply be closed out. All right. So we're gonna have this. All right. The game's on. Are we switching over to the other side? Here we go. Any kind of issues, just let me know. Thank you. All right. So here we go. Hello, Breeze. Oh, okay. Okay, true crime. Okay. All right. So with Karen Reed, there is today they had some experts on the stand talking about blood and doing examinations on the deceased body and how it works. And you had some other forensic people come and give their testimonies. And the jury today went to this, to see some evidence, and they weren't at the courthouse, and they came later. And I saw a good portion of it, and then eventually they ended for the day. And the reason why it ends earlier than the other trials is because it's on the East Coast. So there's less, in my opinion, and also based off of what other people said, is that there's less time over there. When things are on the East Coast, there's less time. People on the West Coast have all the time in the world because their days last longer. Because, like, and where I am, it's in the middle. It's central. So, yeah, anything on the East Coast is going to end much earlier because over there, it's like the Lori Daybell trial. It's like around the same time over there, but to us in the more western part, I'm in the central zone, but central to west, it seems longer. It seems like much shorter. But, so usually if something's in the West Coast, it will last much longer, like a full day. And so with Karen Reed, you have, so people that don't know, there's a situation where she has been accused of murdering her boyfriend by hitting him with a vehicle. And when he was hit with a vehicle, she's pleading innocent. And there is a lot of corruption allegedly in that region. So with their police force and fire departments, so they think that also her boyfriend was on the police force, so that he was framed, that she was framed for it, or some sort of foul play or a cover up happened. And the markings on him don't look like he was hit by a vehicle, but by some dog attacked him. And what they had to do was they went and have the state, and last time they had they had to have a mistrial, and they had a retrial, and it's the second trial she had, and now they're doing it again, and the defense put the burden on the state to prove if it really happened or not. And in my opinion, I don't think the burden of proof is there, but we'll have to wait to see how the trial goes. And if she did do it, I think it was by a mistake. True Crime says our judges will work till around 6 on big cases. Okay, True Crime, thank you. Yeah, and maybe there's certain situations where they'll go later into the afternoon with some things, but we have to keep in mind that the time zone difference. And basically, so that's what basically I am. So yesterday I was conducting the stream and talking about both sides that were occurring, which what both sides think. And you have some people think she's guilty, some people think she's innocent. All right, I understand there's buffering. Thank you for the feedback. Dude's dressed just like me. Scared. All right, and if it doesn't work, I'll have to restart the stream and do a phone live. All right, so switching just back over here, you know, I don't want to cause the, you know, I don't want to cause the. Let's see if it gets better, and if it doesn't improve, I'll go and do the phone live. Hello, Silver Fox. Good to see you. All right, so let's see. All right, so basically, we were talking about Karen Reed, and today that the so that's the situation with the trial that you have one side saying she's guilty, one side saying she's innocent. You have good arguments, but it's really the burden of proof isn't necessarily there to completely convict her one way or another, in my opinion. And also, True Crime says my town got picked for a big case out of Tennessee. The jurors will be sequestered. I hope I get picked. Oh, I hope you do too. That sounds that sounds great. I hope that works out for you. Trip. They went on a field trip and they went and left for a little while. Then they went back to the courtroom and had some experts testify, that were witnesses about. They had some witnesses testify about the trial. So what happened was they go and end for the day eventually. And still, as I said, there's a lot of people in the chat that are having battles with each other, and conflicts about if she's guilty or innocent. There's like a tug of war, and you have like the opening statements you had, and the her attorney put the burden of proof on the prosecution to prove that if it really happened or not. And today they're talking about the blood and a blood expert and how that's done. So they're trying to do like one side is trying to prove that she's innocent with the situation about how they deal with the body afterwards or how blood flows and stuff like that. We've seen that in other trials before that when you have, depending on how the blood leaves the body, it can show if something is intentional or not. If it's self-inflicted or someone else did it. All right, true crime. Understood. Hello, Moki. It's great to see you in chat. Hello. And I'm talking about the kind of a little overview about the little bit of what happened at the Karen Reed trial today. And I'm talking about the other things that happened, kind of like with my day, but also like with the trial and stuff in general. And we'll talk about some of the conspiracy stuff. And basically, the oh yeah, I understand a lot of the chatters can be very cringe, absolutely, on Monday, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, as I said, I don't know if y'all could hear me or see me or not. I don't really know, but anyway, basically, I'm just like watching this thing because I have a gear that shows me that the stream isn't really producing anything that much. It's in red. That's what I'm just But anyway, if y'all have some buffering, just let me know. If y'all could even hear me. And basically, same here. That's why I don't watch the trial. Yeah, so a lot of people don't like Karen Reed, and like some people think that she's doing it for attention. People think Karen Reed is doing it for attention, or or she's doing it for clout and stuff like that. Like for instance, her doing a documentary or an interview. People think that maybe she is trying to go and get fame and fans and publicity. Is that something that y'all think perhaps that could be happening? That she wants fame and attention because of this? And I'm also trying to view this through an unbiased way, legally, and I don't know if the burden of proof is there, as I said. And today they had different experts, talk about stuff, but predominantly, And Silver said that she said that's why she doesn't watch the trial. And glad to see you, Moki and Silver Fox and everybody else here. I appreciate it. Okay, Cecil, thank you. All right, so hello, TJ. Good to see you. I'm glad you're able to catch another stream. Hello. And also, hello, Anne. Good to see you. Hello there. Cecil says that many of the family attended, but don't remember the name. Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. Okay. And Moki says, "Hello, Mary Toodles. It's having issues." Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so Moki says Karen Reed thinks she's better than all her supporters, looks down on them, yet they give her money and people are gullible. In the Idaho 4 when it starts, maybe even Stevens seems Stearns. Okay, thank you, True Crime. And then Moki says, I watched it. It was part of the Pike family massacre. All right, so basically, yeah, Chad is, and also, yeah, poor aliens getting frustrated. And basically, yeah, now there is a storm coming, but I am seeing that something's coming through. But yeah, Moki, yeah. So basically, yeah. So I'm gonna read what chat's saying. The Pike Massacre hearing for Bill Wagner is the one you're talking about. I've not heard of it, but thank you. And Moki says the Karen thinks she's better than everybody. I read that. And let's see something else. And yeah, we have Joyce the spinning wheel. And all right, yeah. So basically, that is what was happening today with the Karen Reed trial. Yes, the Karen Reed trial. Yeah, scared. Yeah, scared. Yeah. So what happened was jurors went to go look at a house for evidence, and they went on a field trip. And what else happened was they had some witnesses in the stand today, talk about the trial, and so that is what's happening over there. So it was interesting today to see the testimony about the blood, and things like that. And as I said, there's people that may have a bias against her, and I personally don't try to view a trial with a bias because I think it's just good to find what the truth is. But if someone is a bad character, that can show that they have other problems in different areas. So that's always something to take into consideration. All right, all right. Let's read this. All right, all right. We're gonna read some things about Karen Reed. Then we're gonna good to see you. All right, here we go. Hello, Miranda. Good to see you. We're having some technical difficulties because of the weather, and basically, there's a storm going on. There might be some other issues. It happens sometimes. I tell you, I don't really, it's something that happens. All right, and also basically, okay, chat. Thank you. And I can't really read anything because it won't even work. All right, so let's try this again. All right, let's not talk about that. Let's just go to the Pope. Let's not talk about that. Let's just go to the Pope. 2027. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. What is this? All right. Let's look at this one. I'm still here, everybody. I'm looking at something to read for y'all. All right, because I know I'm still kind of hanging there. All right, so I'm gonna read the chat. All right, so anyone like Alien's Room? I like the colors and the lights. Thank you, Moki. I appreciate it. And thank you, True Crime, for your advice with the stream problem. I have OBS. It's not Streamlabs. Maybe that would work differently. All right. And also, Cecil says, absolutely, it looks out of this world, Moki. Yeah. Goodness, I miss y'all. I hate the Karen Reed trial separated us. And thank you, Miranda, for the nice compliment as well. All right, so basically, I am going to read something about a conspiracy theory with the Pope, but I want to say real quick, I was outside and they cut a big part of a tree branch that was intruding on a piece of their shed, and they cut it down earlier. And I was moving it and cutting some vines and stuff so the cat could be able to get through in the back. I helped my mom with that today. So that is something that I was doing, earlier, Miranda, that I was telling you about. It went well. Then I saw my grandparents and I was fixing the internet so we would have a good stream where we wouldn't have any kind of connection problems, but it must be some other thing. And basically, then there's these, they're talking about the tree branch, and it was kind of funny. And there's some people were arguing, and then I came back here and saw the cats. Now I'm here. So, okay, so Karen Reed, we kind of understand the situation about that. And as I said today, they went on like a field trip, and they had that's that. And since we talked about that, and I'm going to see about talking about this Pope conspiracy theory. And as I said, there's a thunderstorm going on, and I could always restart this live stream through my phone. I could do a phone live where there shouldn't be any kind of problem like this. Just that's an option I can do. I could redo the stream, but for now, we'll see how this goes. And I appreciate y'all being patient and hanging in there with me. This can get kind of frustrating, so I appreciate that everybody's acting like adults here and being cool. All right. All right, Joyce. Thank you, Moki. I appreciate that. I have my volume down, so if it's shot time, let know Mama needs a party. Scared. Yeah, y'all like the scared thing. All right. So let's go to. All right, here we go. It might cause buffering, but here we go. All right. Let's read the. Oh, this is what I saw earlier. Yeah. All right. I think I'm still visible. I might not be visible at the moment. If it causes a problem, I could switch it over. Okay. Now, I could read some stuff from my phone also. All right. So, I might make this a little bit simpler on the connection, and we'll just read it through the phone. All right. I read this through the phone, and I could always do a phone live in addition to this and end this one if it was necessary, but for now, we're hanging in there. All right. Scared. All right. So we are about to read the conspiracy theory. Here we go. Even the cellular is having some slowness to it. And at least y'all could talk like a chat room. It could be like a little chat room for y'all to kind of talk with each other. At the least. Yeah. Scared. All right, here we go. So If any issues happen, let me know. Okay. Pope Francis' successor revealed an ancient prophecy plucked from the Vatican archives. In the end of the world as we know it, the prophecy of popes, a 900-year-old pre-sent manuscript, is believed by some to predict the next pontiff, an end of the world. And also, as I said, take these with a grain of salt. Scared. Making a milkshake. Nice. Nice. Yeah. The prophecy of the popes, a 900-year-old. Okay, that I read that. Pope Francis passed away following a stroke Monday. Pope Francis passed away following a stroke Monday, which led to a coma, ultimately irreversible cardiocirculatory collapse, the Vatican says. Scared. A selection of church leaders will now vote to choose the next in command, but some claim to already know who will be picked. The prophecy of popes is a series of cryptic. A select church leaders will now vote to choose the next command, but some claim to already know who will be picked. The prophecy of popes is a series of cryptic Latin phrases and document. The prophecy of popes is a series of cryptic Latin phrases and document that interpreted the describing the lineup of church leaders, starting with Celestine II in 1143, ending with Peter the Roman in 2027. Alright, I just got the alert about bad weather. Scared. Michael de Notre Dame. Michael de Notre Dame. Alright, good night, True Crime. Yeah, Michael de Notre Dame, a French astrologist and soothsayer from the 16th century known as Nostradamus, is also said to have predicted Peter the Roman will take over. That sent believers into a fever, noting that for the 9 and front runners set to succeed Pope Francis, yeah, that's true. You did, Mary Toodles. You did. Mary Toodles, I know about the weather. I just got the weather alert. Thank you. And Miranda says to my mom, "Hi mom, I had to help grandma with the flower bed yesterday. Though work, it's getting hot out. Yeah, it's certainly getting hot outside, and Mary Toodles and I felt that today. Yeah, all hail Moki. Definitely. Yeah, shout out to Moki. And also Mary Toodles as well. I'm very glad Mary Toodles is here too. That's great. All right. That sent believers into a fervor, noting that for 9 frontrunners to succeed Pope Francis, 3 are named Peter, according to Reuters. Hilarious, Steve. I did speak too soon. Hilarious. A shout to you, dude. Scared. And you have a picture of the Pope with a bird on his head with a dog and a young man. and you have these busts that they're showing. Miranda said, Mary, it really does. We do have air on, yet where I am being deleted of heat today. I could use a thunderstorm or just some clouds in a day. A cloudy day. Yeah, that would certainly help. Mary says, Moki, thank you for your kindness. I'm sure you're a great mom. Yeah, fat. Yeah. Shout out to Moki. Yeah, very sweet of her. Oh yeah, Moki, you're in the right place. This is a place for the helicopter moms too. Helicopter mom lives matter. All right. So about the Pope conspiracy, more about it. However, some had previously tried to connect Pope Francis to the prophecy of Peter the Roman due to his Italian heritage and his birth name, Giovanni di Pietro di Bernardone. And the next pope will be chosen by the conclave, consisting of 120 cardinals out of the 138 princes of the church, who are under 80, will gather at the Vatican to pick his replacement. Thank you, Steve, for the info. Hilarious. Moki says, Mary, I get it. I really, really do. Yeah. And then Miranda says, Steve, you're pretty mature. And Mary, I'm in New Mexico. The desert, it's hot summers, but chilly nights here since the desert. And you like how I made the East Central instead of West? Yes. I like that, Steve. Hilarious. Central New Mexico. I don't know the zip code. Like how I made it East Central. Yeah, not the. Yeah, Central. Not the ghetto. I'm city suburbs gal. Yeah. And Miranda, I'm sure it was pretty. You have a dry heat. It's humid here. No cool nights. It's a swamp for you. Cecil says, I heard that Alien Wild. I listened to the Pope on Monday. I saw the where he was in Rome. I saw the his what he did for the Easter ceremony. So that was something that I thought was he wasn't, not the best health, but yeah, it was a shocker, definitely, Cecil, definitely. If the next pope is named Peter, I'm going to start hoarding toilet paper. Yeah, you better. Scared. And then Moki's in Nevada. Pool time. All right, thank you, Mary Toodles. 4 daily ballots will be held until a successor is picked. After 30 ballots, the top two candidates will be the only ones allowed. Whoever gets to thirds majority will become the next pontiff. Voting must begin within 20 days of the Pope's deletion and can take as long as needed, but typically it takes about a week. Yeah, shout out to the pool fun. And I'm looking at something. It's showing the next pope will be chosen by conclave consisting of 120 cardinals, 130 princes of the church, and then they have the white smoke that comes from the Vatican when one is chosen. And Miranda said, "OMG, it's alien. It's hot today." Oh yeah, yeah. I drank plenty water, Miranda. I'm sure it's horrible, and it's dry heat over there. And where I am, it's it's humid and it's hot, but it's different than your heat. So yeah, I definitely, that cockroaches are coming out again. It's cockroach season, in my neck of the woods at least. And Steve says Route 66 is fun. It's actually still kind of cool in New Mexico. Scared. Yeah, shout out to pool time. We need alien pool time. Hello, under a rocket. Steve, it's okay. There is also want to make clear there's a thunderstorm happening, and there could be some issues with the connection. For those that want to stay and listen, it's fine. But just it may be a little bit turbulent, with connection wise. All right. Hello, under a rocket. And shout out to Steve. I'm glad that you're here, bro. I'm glad that you're also here. I'm glad all of you are here with me. I deeply appreciate y'all the support. I greatly appreciate it. All right, I deeply appreciate the support that y'all are giving me and y'all being here. It means a lot to me, in spite of the turbulence. All right, but beyond the Pope pick, the eeriest prediction pulled from the prophecy document claims that Judgment Day, the second coming of Christ, when all people living and deleted will learn their eternal fate, is near. While several religions believe their own theory about the fateful ending, some Christians think the day is coming soon, and since the prophecy of popes end with Peter the Roman in 2027, I will say that 7 is a holy number. Like the 777 is a number of God, and although we have, and then as we have our friend 666 in chat, he's a cool dude, but usually in the Bible the number 666 has to do with the beast, and then 777 is a godly number, and then 333 is an angelic number, and then 314 is another holy number that means like a full circle. And so you have, so 7 is a number God likes. There are 7 last words of Christ. The world was made in 7 days according to the Bible and the other Abrahamic religions. So 2027 something may happen, but I'll get to my reaction about the response with this in a moment. I'll get my reaction to this response to what I think about this in a moment. Steve says there's nothing like sleeping under the New Mexico stars. Oh, I'm sure. Oh, that's beautiful, definitely. Absolutely. These nuts. Scared. Under and I are fighting the good fight in rechat. Scared. Scared. All right. But beyond the Pope pick, the eeriest prediction pulled the prophecy claims that the Judgment Day, the second coming of Christ, when all popes living and deleted will enter the eternal fate, is near. While several religions believe their own theory about the fateful ending, some Christians think their day is coming soon, and since the prophecy of popes will end on Peter the Roman in 2027, many faithful have interpreted it to be a sign of the end times. I don't think that Sharon is at the retrial, if I recall. I thought I've seen her there, but I don't know. Saint Malachi is credited with creating the prophecy of popes, writing 112 short, mysterious phrases about the papal progression after he received a vision, although many experts suggest he wrote it in hopes of gathering himself into the top position. Ah, there he is. Hello, 666. No pun intended. Speak of the devil. I'm glad you're here, bro. Good to see you. Yes, Matt, I am saying that it's moist. Absolutely. And also, under, I'm telling you, there are paid bots in there. All right. Sharon said, under a rocket, sometimes names come up with missing letter for me too. I hope it's at least mini wage. Yeah, that is true, Steve. I can swim the ocean. That's true. All right. So, 666. I was talking about Karen. Well, first of all, I'm having some turbulence because of a thunderstorm happening, so my weather is kind of cringe. And also, another thing that occurred is that earlier I moved some branches that fell that they cut down that was touching a neighbor's house, and I was also moving the it out the way so the cat could get through. And another thing that I'm doing now is we're talking about a conspiracy theory about the Pope, where these people think that there will be a second coming of Christ on 2027, or there'll be the Pope of Peter, and we're just kind of going through it. And I'm giving my commentary about that. So, yeah, and Karen Reed, I saw you earlier in Karen Reed, and we talked there, 666, and what we did was I saw you in chat when they were on the field trip before they got back, and I saw you when I went back in the chat because I was there earlier. Then I chatted later. All right. So continuing, and I'll give my commentary on this. By the way, when I'm finished. According to the final entry surrounding Peter the Roman, the last pope will preside over the church during the time of great turmoil, accumulating the destruction of Rome and the end of the papacy. Hello, Danny. Good to see you, buddy. All right. TJ, I'm glad you're able to catch it live again, too. In the final the persecution of the Holy Roman Church, there will be reign the Peter the Roman, who will feed his flock amid many turbulations. After which seven-hilled city will be destroyed, and the dreadful judge will judge the people in the end. The last passage reads, the descriptions conveniently the year it was discovered and several decades of Nostradamus made his claim. Yes, Miranda, stargazing, that certainly would be fun. I do that all the time over here. I recommend you do it too. Rock, CT is not from the state of CT. It's actually my initials. Ah, okay. Some claim that the text was forged. Some point that later predictions are ambiguous. Scared. All right. So there you go. And I will give my reaction to this right now. All right. That y'all are here. And basically, so this prophecy about the Pope now, according to Christianity, And also in Islam, they also believe in Jesus' second coming as well, but we have different opinions about Jesus, but they believe that Jesus will return and do the same things that we believe Jesus will do as well. So that area we overlap. And then Moki says Pope prophecy coincidences with UFO peeps saying 2027 is when the aliens will reveal themselves. Coincidence. Moki, I think that that is not a coincidence. I believe that is not a coincidence. So yeah, 2027 is said that the aliens will reveal themselves. So I do think there's a correlation with that. And also in the Bible, it does talk about these impure frog spirits will come and deceive people. Similar to like what you're saying about the aliens appearing and about the Pope thing, they talk about something like that where these impure frog spirits will come and deceive people, and the gray aliens look kind of like frogs. So I think that in 27, as I say, 7 is a number that God likes. It's his favorite number. Doesn't mean he doesn't dislike the other numbers, but 7 is his number. And basically, Sharon says, Alien, I was cuz nothing else was on, but got bored and don't like her. All right, understood. Understood. That is understood, Sharon. I was wondering where you were. Turbulence, move your space over to Nevada. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny, 666. And I understand the position. All right. So I will look into the alien conspiracy theory about the aliens revealing themselves in 2027. Now I'll give my position on this alleged claim. And I will say that this is from the Christian perspective, and I guess also technically from the Islamic perspective because they believe in the same thing about Christ. Everything else rejects it, though. So, to those that believe in this, those that don't believe in this, just enjoy the story. There you go. So, according to Christianity, nobody knows when the return of Christ will be. Only God knows. Say, from a Christian perspective, God the Father. From, say, the Muslims, it would be God. Just Jesus was their a prophet, and then there's God. From their another, I guess, other Christian beliefs think that as well. But so basically, only God knows when Jesus will come back, according to Christianity, and nobody knows the time or the date. So clearly, it doesn't mean something won't happen in 2027. There probably something may occur, or maybe it will happen. But just take it with a grain of salt anyway. I will just say, if you see something happen in 2027, just be suspicious about it. Even if you're, like, especially those that don't believe in these things, don't be tricked into thinking that it's something from a divine being. It's some kind of a trick. So maybe it will be, but nobody knows the time or the date, and that there will be people. So only God knows when this will happen. It could be in 27, could be a number that God likes. But it also, Bible talks about the impure frog spirits will deceive people. I know that sounds like someone took some acid and wrote it in a book, but I think that the aliens are going to reveal themselves and maybe cause some sort of a deception. So I do agree with Moki's saying that they say it's when aliens will reveal themselves at the same time this happens. So maybe that will be the beginning of the end, so to speak. Yeah, 666. I know. I know an angel all day. And yes, you are. I will say that you have an angelic number right there. It is a angelic number. Definitely. And if I might add the angel of light. The most powerful, greatest one. So, yes, there you go. And, of course, there's another story behind that, what happened to that angel, but it was the most powerful angel that God had. And then Moki said the next pope was supposed to be the last pope ever. As I said, Moki, we don't know. It could be. And it, it could be. Or maybe it won't be. We'll have to wait and see. But I just be take it with a grain of salt. And if something does happen, it might be a deception. Yes, as I said, it is technically an angelic number. Yes. It's so you have 666 and then 777. So it's supposed to be, you know, God's most favorite prized angel. Yes, it is an angelic number. Now, in the modern times, it's more of there is a disagreement between God and this, and it is technically, yes. And Sharon says she does not see Cecil, but hello to Cecil anyway. Matt says the Catholic Church is the Microsoft of religions. The last pope ever is just a poor business strategy. Hilarious. And Moki says, Steve, most of Nevada is federal land. A lot of shady stuff is going on in the desert. Nevada is a good spaceship state. Shout out to Art Bell. Ah, okay. Okay, Miranda, thank you. I think it's time to read. I, the trees of the yard were getting too. I, the trees of the yard were getting too big. I think that it would be easier to shovel some hay. Get off the phone and play some sports and get into the sun and get some vitamin D. Now, that is true. That is my opinion. You know it. That's exactly what the piper they don't have to pay. The piper they don't have to pay. Yeah, and 666, anybody blocks you, I think that is not right. And, you know, I'm glad to have you with us. And as I said, my faith, it says to, in a moment, well, when it comes back on, I'll tell him, come on, Timu. Uh, so basically, in my faith, it says to always love your neighbor as yourself and to be good to all people. Everybody. If they're, whatever their name is online or not. Yeah. So, all right. And now we'll talk about this alien thing. This Aliens 2027. Alien needs to read Notre Dame. I know about Notre Dame. I know about Notre Dame, and I saw him on the History Channel when I was growing up. And he predicted a lot of things that were true. So I know I know a lot about Notre Dame, definitely. And I do need to read even more of it. I've not read all of it, so I do. All right, here I am. All right, so basically, I am back. There was a little bit of a crash that occurred, but here I am. So basically, as we were saying before about the Pope, basically we have this situation we'll be talking about now. We'll continue what we were talking about. Okay, so I was just going to take this from the top. All right, so aliens will reveal themselves in 2027. Claim. Also, I want to say hello, George. Welcome to the spaceship stream. Welcome, and I'm glad that you are here with us. And also want to thank everybody for the patience. I really deeply appreciate it. And scared. Shout out to all of you. Okay. So now we'll be talking about aliens allegedly revealing themselves in 2027. Before we were talking about the Karen Reed trial, and we talked about the conspiracy theory about the Pope returning. I mean, the Pope that's going to come up to be a last Pope, and in 2027 there'll be some the return of Christ could happen, and I will say that to take that with a grain of salt because nobody knows the time or the date, and also everybody would get scared. And here we go. So just kind of starting from the top right here. Aliens will reveal themselves in 2027, claims former CIA agent. In our stories, intelligent aliens typically interact with us in one of two ways. Either they show up in force, take whatever root among us, forges a middle path when the titular alien Harry shows up with the intention of wiping us out, but opts for a quieter I'm back, and not really back actually. All right, and let's see. All right, welcome back. All right. All right, so there is. Hello, Moki. Welcome back. All right, all right, all right. Are UFO aliens sightings becoming more common? For decades, we've been left to imagine what it might be like, and when intelligent aliens finally do come down around for a visit, depending on what we ask. Our days for waiting might be coming to a close. Over the last couple of years, a few things happened to bolster interest in UFO phenomenon and build a general sense that something might be going on. First, the United States government opened up a report they've investigated and conducted. They established dedicated panel for the study of what they've seen, calling unidentified anomalous phenomena UAP. Second, former intelligence officer David Grush filed a whistleblower report stating he received testimony from multiple sources scared regarding the existence of a decade-long UFO recovery and reverse engineering program. He later testified in front of Congress. At the same extent, of non-human biologics, alien bodies for himself. Finally, Harvard scientist Avi Loeb claimed to have recovered mental sulfurous from a potential alien spacecraft. I've never read The Lizard People are just us in the Galactic Federation, but who knows? Never trust lizards. That is true. I am dealing with galactic hiccups. All right, we're having some technical issues. Technical issues, but basically, I'm not too sure. I might do the phone